Okay, so welcome back to this new video. What we are going to learn today is to how we can create MongoDB and then MongoExpress in Kubernetes. So we have two images on Docker Hub. One is Mongo, and then the other one is MongoExpress. You can check them out. These are the links. Okay, so what we are going to deploy is we are going to deploy about 4 resources. The first one is the config map, and then the second one is the secret. The third one is the MongoExpress, and then the fourth one is the MongoDB. Okay, so with the config map, we are going to use it to hold our non-sensitive data, whilst the secret, we are going to use it to hold our sensitive data, which is the username and the password. So the MongoExpress is a user interface that you can use to create your Mongo DB and then collections. Okay, so with this UI, you can create your database and collection through the UI, and then it gets transported to the MongoDB. Okay, but with the MongoDB also, you can create using the CLI, and then automatically, if you refresh the MongoExpress UI, you get the data reflecting back. Okay, so basically that is what we are going to do. So as a reminder, the MongoExpress is your external service, and then the MongoDB is your internal service. Okay, so let's jump to the YAML files that we are going to be using. So this is a config map. If you don't know much about the config map, I encourage you to watch my other videos on config maps and secret. So this is the meta name, MongoDB config. And then the data we are storing in the config map is database URL, and it's called MongoDB service. Okay, so let's look at the secret. So the secret that is going to hold our Mongo root username and password. Okay, so this is just a base 4 encoded. So if I say echo this and pipe it to base 4 and decode it, this is what you get. You get username without the percentage symbol, and this one represents the password. So let me paste this in here. If I run this, you see that is the password, the string password. You can choose whatever username and password you feel like it works for you. Okay, but I've just chosen username and password. Okay, so this is how you hide confidential data in your secret YAML file. So now let's go to the MongoDB deployment. So this is the MongoDB, and then we have 2 configurations. We have the deployment and then the service. Okay, so the deployment, this is the name, and it's being labeled as MongoDB. It has 1 replica set. It has some matching labels. And also the name of the container is on MongoDB. The image is what? Mongo, and it's running on this container port 27017. And it also comes with some environment variables, which the name is Mongo initDB root username, and the value is coming from what? The key. Okay, so the key name is what? MongoDB secret, and then the key is what? Root, Mongo root username. Okay, as we saw here. So this is it. Once you reference the key, you get the value. Okay. So again, the Mongo initDB root password, the value is coming from the secret, and then the name of the secret is what MongoDB secret, and then the key is what Mongo root password. And then we need to expose this service. Okay, we are exposing it as a cluster IP. We are not exposing it as a load balancer. So the target port should match this container port. And this is the service port. It could be any value or any port number you choose, but we decided to make it the same. Okay, so the selector is what? MongoDB. Okay, so the name of the service is what? MongoDB service, which corresponds to this database URL, MongoDB service. Okay, so that is just for the MongoDB deployment. So let's look at the MongoExpress. So this is the Mongo deployment. The kind is what? Deployment. And then this is the name, MongoExpress deployment. It has some label, MongoExpress, one replica set. And then the name is what? MongoExpress. The image is what? MongoExpress without a version. And it's running on this container port 8081. And it also comes with some environment variables. Me config MongoDB admin username, and it's coming from the secret. And then the admin password is also coming from the secret. And then the MongoDB server is coming from the config map. Okay, this is the config map. This is it. Okay. And then the key is what? Database URL. Okay. And we are going to expose this MongoExpress UI. So we need a load balancer so that we can get our external IP address. It's running on the target port 8081, and the service port is also 8081. Okay, and it's a TCP protocol. Yeah, so basically, I think that is it. So let's jump into our terminal so we can run the 4 files. Okay, so currently, let's check our nodes. So we have our 2 Kubernetes nodes that are running. So I'm going to create a namespace that we are going to deploy all these things. So I'm just going to say kubectl create namespace. And then I'm going to call the namespace as what? Mongo deploy. That's the namespace we are creating. So it's been created. So these are the files we just looked at: the MongoDB config map, the secret, the deployment, and then the express. So I'm going to run all the files. I'm going to say kubectl apply -f, and then I'm going to say MongoDB config map, and then -f MongoDB secret, and then -f MongoDB deployment, -f MongoDB. I could have done it a different way, but I'm just doing it this way so that those who don't know these options can learn from it. MongoExpress. Okay, so if I run this, Okay, so I haven't switched the namespace, so I'm going to say kubectl config. We set the namespace to Mongo-deploy. Okay, so we've switched. So I'm going to run this every file. Still getting an error. Okay, so let me check Mongo deploy. So let me see. Okay, so I made a mistake with the namespace. So I'm gonna rerun that. Okay, so I think it works now. So we can rerun our files. Okay, so as you can see, a config map was created, the secret was created, the deployment was created, the MongoDB service 2 was created, and then the deployment for MongoExpress was also created, and then the MongoDB service was also created. So let's say kubectl get ports -w watch. So all the ports are running, the MongoExpress is running, the deployment is also running. So let's get all. Yeah, so as you can see, we have the MongoExpress running, the MongoExpress service, the MongoDB service. So as you can see, we have external IP that has been created for us. And then that IP address is running on this port 8080 as we declared in the YAML file or the manifest file. And these are the deployments for MongoExpress and MongoDB. And these are the replica sets. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this IP address, and then I'm going to switch to the browser, and we see what we get. Okay, so if I create and then I go to 8081. So as you can see, this is the MongoExpress. It comes with some default databases, like the admin. If I click on it, this is what you see, system users. So these are some of the entries in the database. Username, and DB is what admin, and some user ID. Okay, so that is it. Let's go back, and let's go back to the terminal, and let's go inside the, I'm gonna say get ports. Okay, so it's too wide. It's too wide, so I'm going to just say this. Okay, so this is the MongoDB deployment. So I'm going to exec into this deployment. So I'm going to say kubectl exec -it. And then I'm going to say sh. So now we are inside the Mongo deployment. So I'm going to run this command mongo -u, which is the username, and then the global variables, which is Mongo init db underscore root underscore username, and then the password is Mongo init db underscore root underscore password. Okay, so this is how you exec into the MongoDB shell. So if I hit enter, so now as you can see, we are in the MongoDB shell. So I can say show databases. You see the three default databases is shown here. And what I can do is I can create a database. So I'm going to say use, I'm going to call it app demo. That is the name of the, or let me just call it Mongo demo. And then it switched to this database, so I can show databases again. Okay, so it didn't create. Okay, so I know why. So let's do db dot create collection. And then I pass in the collection name is demo. It says okay. So let's show databases. So now you see the databases. The database is Mongo demo. So if I say show collections, so you see the collection is what? Demo. Okay. So let's create or let's insert some data into our demo collection. So I'm going to say db.demo.insert, and then I'm going to pass in our values. I'm going to say, let's say age is 24, and then height is 160. So if I run this, you see right result inserted 1. So if I say db.demo.find everything, you see we get our object back. So this object was created for us automatically, and then the rest we created it ourselves, the age and then the height. Okay, so we can also insert another value, so we can call it 190, and then the age is what? 99. Okay, so if we find, you see we have two entries or records. If I say find everything but pretty, I just pass in the pretty function. Okay, I think we just have two records, so it's not giving us the pretty print. Yeah. Okay, so let's just leave it this way. So now let's switch back to our browser for the MongoExpress. So I'm going to refresh this. Going to refresh. Now you see the Mongo demo or the database has reflected here. So if I click on it, now you see that we have the demo collection, If I click on it, you see we have two records in our collection. The first one is age 24 and the second one is 99. Okay, so if I delete this one, the first record, now we have only one. So let's switch back to our terminal and see if indeed it was deleted. So I'm going to just do find all and then run it. So as you see, we just got one records back. Okay. So let's go back to so we are back to our browser. So I'm going to delete everything in our collection. I'm going to delete this as well. So now everything is gone, but the database is still there, and then the collection is also there. I can also delete that as well. Yeah, so let's go back to our terminal. So I'm going to say db.demo. Drop. So I'm going to drop this demo collection. So I just pass in the function drop. So you see, we have true. Okay, so now let's go back to our browser and check if indeed it was deleted. If I refresh, you see database not found. It's been deleted. You see, we have nothing remaining there. Yeah, so basically this is how you create MongoDB and then MongoExpress, and you're able to insert some data from your terminal. So I can create a database called stack here, create a database, and then I can create a collection called demo. And then I can insert a new document. And this document, I'm going to call it age 24, height 170. And then if I insert this, if I save this, it's saved, you see. So this is our new record. So if I click on it, this is how it looks like. So I can go back. If I go back to our terminal and check the records, okay, let me switch to the database first. Show databases. So you see the stack database. And if I say use stack, and then now if I run this, you see this is our records. Okay. So thanks for watching. I can also drop it here. Can drop demo. It's true. It's true, meaning that the collection has been dropped. Yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and share. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. So what I'm going to do now is to delete everything, every single thing. So I'm going to exit out of this. Okay. So I'm still in my terminal. I'm still in my terminal, so I'm going to delete everything. So I'm going to say kubectl delete -f and then a dot. Or let me just do this. So I'm going to say delete -f and then a dot. If I enter, so as you see, it's deleting everything. Okay, the config map, the deployment, the service, the secret, the MongoExpress, and then the MongoExpress service. They are all being deleted. Okay, so that is all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.